There you go. Yeah.
You're gonna pick that up later, right?
Link, ice blue mink, tat on my wrist like I do not know what permanent is. They want me gone, wait for the kicker. Bury me now and I only get.
Alright, so I'm gonna do a backflip off that box and I'm gonna hope Reese holds it so I don't die. I'm 5'11". What? He said he's 5'11". What? 3, 2, 1. No back roll or anything. How's it going, everybody? My name's Trevor, and today I'm going to be showing you my favorite full body stretches. So, these stretches you're about to see are great for American Ninja Warrior and parkour. I am primarily a Ninja Warrior instructor here at RockFit Ninjas, and so whenever I teach classes, I like to do these stretches. Alright, so first thing I like to do is find a nice matted area to do my stretches on. If you don't have a matted floor like we do, that's fine. Just find a little soft spot, maybe on some carpet, to do your stretches. Make yourself a little more comfortable. Let's get started. First things first, I like to reach my hands up, put your feet together, reach as high as you can, and now lean to one side, lean to the other side, and now do a little bit of twists, side to side, do about 10 twists. And then reach your hands back up. Now for this stretch, you need to keep your knees straight and try to go down and touch your toes. If you can't touch your toes, that's fine, just go as far as you can. If you can touch your toes easily like I can, go down, place your fingertips on the ground. If that's too easy, lay your hands flat. Now slowly come back up, and we're gonna put our feet apart now. Reach your hands back up. First, just lean to one side, hold it for about 10 seconds. I read that if you don't hold a stretch for 10 seconds, it's really not that beneficial. Go to the other side. And now, go down to the middle. Alright, now we're going to lean down to one side. Sweep over to the other side. And now we're going to sit down on the floor. Now that we're on the floor, let's get started by putting our legs together and going down and touching our toes again from a seated position, like this. I'll give you a little side view here just so you can see it better. So we're gonna reach our hands up again. And now for this one, have your toes pointed up and you're gonna pull at your feet. You should feel a little bit of stretch right in your calves. So go down and then pull back. I can get my whole hand on there. If you can't get your whole hand on, that's perfectly fine. Just hold it for about 10 seconds and then come back up. All right, now point your toes. And same thing, if you can't grab your heels, just grab your ankles. But yeah, this time, try to grab your heels. And now this, I want you to get your head as close to your knees as possible and hold for about 10 seconds. After that, come back up, and now we're gonna put our feet apart. This next one is good if you have a partner. They can help you with it, but all we're doing is we're reaching out and seeing how far we can go. If you have a partner, they can push on your upper back and help you go further. This one's just hard to get more weight on this side of your body to help you stretch. I like to personally find a point on the ground that I want to try to touch. Maybe it's like a speck of dust or something, or just a line on the floor, but I look at something and I just try to bounce forward and touch it. And this will just work on that forward flexibility. After that, now we're gonna go down to one side, again trying to touch our knee to our head. So we're gonna reach up, go down to one side, grab your ankle, try to touch the knee to the head. And back up, down to the other side. And back up. All right, now this time through, this stretch, I heard it can be bad for your knees. So don't go all the way down on this. It's gonna stretch out the quads. So we're gonna go like this. Don't go all the way down. Maybe just go down to your elbows. And if you can, push your hips up towards the sky. You should feel right on the top of your leg, maybe a little bit in the front of your hip. After you hold it for 10 seconds, come back down. And now we're gonna work on going into the splits. So there's side splits and forward splits. We're gonna try to do both. The first split, we're gonna try the forward split. I'm gonna put my leg forward, one leg back, and just kind of crawl out and go as far into a front split as I can. Try not to use your hands if you can, or just have them down to both sides. Don't put them both on one side. Have one hand on each side, or both your hands up, stay facing forward. Now we're gonna switch legs. Again, hold it for about 10 seconds. Walk it out. I've been having some hip issues, so this one's great for me. All right, and now we're gonna do the side split. Some people like to have their feet planted on the ground. I like to have my feet sideways. It's really preference. Some people feel like they're gonna break their ankles doing it this way. I just feel like I can stretch further without my feet planted flat. So this is the one way to do the side split. And then the other way is with your feet planted like this. Either one works really. And now, we're gonna stand up. In this next set of stretches, we're gonna work on our upper body. All right, now that we're back on our feet, we're gonna start taking an arm and pulling it across our chest. Notice how the palm of my hand is facing behind me. Now we're gonna use our other arm and use it to squeeze it in tight to our chest. There's a better view of what it looks like. After you hold that for 10 seconds, we're gonna switch sides. I'm kind of grabbing on the inside of my elbow with my other elbow. I find that's the most comfortable position where I can still feel a nice pull in this part of my shoulder. All right, and now this next one is my personal favorite stretch. You take your arm, reach behind your head, go as far down your back as you can, and use your other arm to pull it even further down. Okay, so I'm trying to reach as far down my spine as I can. Hold that for 10 seconds, and now switch. One arm, reach as far down your back as you can, use your other arm to pull it even further down. Try to keep your head up on this one if you can. I see a lot of people tucking their head down. It's not nearly as good of a stretch if you keep your head straight up. All right, now let's start to shake your arms out, throw them side to side. If you can, do a little back clap. Get warmed up for the next one. Now, I like to interlace my fingers like this, interlace my fingers, and now reach up. And then maybe even turn them behind you, turn them back, or keep your palms facing each other. Just reach up as high as you can. If you want, you can go onto a bar and do it like this. So grab onto a bar if you have a vertical bar. Reach up as high as you can, grab the bar, and then lean down. Stretches the same amount. I do this stretch a ton. And then there is another way which you do on the floor to stretch like that. The other way, you place your hands flat behind you and then just reach out. Try to get your upper back as close to the ground as possible. And just hold it. Nice and relaxing. And yes, I know this might look a little weird, but I stretch this way a lot. After you're done, bring your hands out in front of you and stand back up. There's one more shoulder warm-up that I like to do, and that's just some arm circles. Maybe start small, go bigger. After that, do it for about 10 seconds, then switch backwards and go bigger. All right, now that we've stretched out our shoulders, let's start to stretch out our forearms. In American Ninja Warrior, your forearms are very important, so we want to make sure we stretch out our fingers and our forearms as best we can. They're also pretty important in parkour for moves like the flyaway. So for this first forearm stretch, I like to take my hand, twist it so my palm is facing away from me, use my other hand to grab my fingers and pull my arm across my chest. Your bicep should be facing away from you. See? This is my bicep. It's facing away from me. I'm pulling those fingers back, and that way you stretch the bicep and the forearm at the same time. Cool, huh? That was stupid. So now we're pulling it back, switch arms, go for about 10 seconds. Pull it. If you couldn't figure this stretch out, because some people struggle figuring out how to get into this stretch, you can just pull your fingers back like this. Just pull your fingers back. You won't get that bicep stretch in there, but that's fine. Pull those fingers back like this or like this. Either works. The other way to do that one is on the floor. Find a spot on the floor. Lay your palms flat and just kind of lean back. So that just stretched out what's called the forearm flexors, which move the hand this way. That stretched out all the front forearm muscles. Now we want to stretch out the extensors on the back of the hand. This one, you can just bend your arm the other way, like this. So you're decreasing that angle in there, trying to feel a stretch right on top. Switch arms after about 10 seconds. And we also can do that one on the floor as well. Just lay your hands upside down and flat and kind of lean back and decrease that angle. Good stretch. The last hand stretch I like to do is just trying to get my thumbs as far away from my hand as possible. Just grab and reach. This doesn't get stretched very often, and that's why I like to do it. Help prevent thumb injuries. Reach it as far away as possible. You can also do this on the floor by laying your hand flat and pushing away. This next stretch can be done on a wall, but I like to use a quintuple step because of the angle that it gives me. If you don't have these, it's fine to just do it up against a flat wall. I'll show you how that looks in a minute. First off, find the quintuple step you want to stand on. I first off like to lay my shoe flat and just kind of lean my body forward. Keeping that shoe flat, maybe you can try to touch your elbows to it. Hold it for 10 seconds, then switch feet. Now, we're gonna decrease the angle so maybe only the balls of our feet and our toes is on it. And you're gonna start to push that knee forward. Try to drive your knee as close to this as you can. If you're on a wall, you'll just try to touch your knee to the wall. And now, bend your knee side to side. Move that knee side to side. And then do it with the other leg. Push that knee forward. And then bend your knee side to side. If you only have a wall to use, this is what it'll look like. Place that leg on there. Lean forward. It's really hard to get your shoe flat, so you're just having a high angle on this for the first one. And then after you push that, just lean your body forward. Don't bend your knee for the first one. I forgot to mention that on the quintuple step. Don't bend your knee. And then for the second one, decrease the angle and do bend your knee. If that's too easy, increase the angle, make it really hard for your knee to touch. After that, you'll switch feet, Keep it flat, don't bend your knee, lean forward, and then switch, decrease the angle a bit, make it hard for your knee to touch the wall. Switch forward, and then you can do the side to side one just without it. You don't even need the wall. Just bend your knee side to side, like that. So I'm giving you guys a lot of extra stretches and you don't have to do them all. Here's another one that's good for stretching out your ankles. This one is just sitting on the floor. All right, so grab your ankle, put it on your knee, and this can also be used to stretch out your hips. But basically, just kind of roll your ankle around in circles. I like to do 10 circles, and then after that, switch the other way. I have bad ankles because I shattered my left ankle a couple years ago, and so another one that really helps for me is to actually just kind of bend your ankle sideways like that. I like to do that maybe with a little bit of a roll. Just kind of try to bend the ankle that way. Really helped with my flexibility, getting that back in my ankles. And then switch the other leg. Roll your ankle a couple times. Switch it the other way. And then just try to lift it. Little rolling motion. And then your ankles are good. Now the other thing I had mentioned was you can use that kind of position to stretch out your hips. And because I'm having hip problems, I'll show you that one too. All right, so you're kind of in the same position. Have one knee bent pretty close to you. Other leg, put your ankle on it. And now you're gonna use your hand to push your knee forward. You should feel it right in there. Push it forward for about 10 seconds. And then you're gonna switch. Same thing. Push that knee forward. And another hip stretch while we're on the topic. Put one leg close to the other leg that's straight out. So this leg is straight out. The other one is just kind of bent so your shoe's flat on it. And then you just lay this way. Try to touch your nose to the ground. After you do that for 10 seconds, switch to the other side. And I also notice that stretch a lot in my back. Here's a great back stretch to do. And if you're leading stretches for like a group of kids, if you're teaching a class like I do, I try to keep stretching around 5 minutes or less. So keep that in mind. You might have to pick and choose. Never duplicate muscle groups you don't want to overstretch. But here's a good back stretch. So for stretching the lower back, just push up into kind of a seal position. If your group or if you want an extra challenge, try to touch your head to your toes. I can't do it anymore. I could when I was younger. After that, get the lower back stretched out. I like to go down in this position. Just stretch out the hips a bit more. Release the pressure off my spine. So this next one I did a lot in boxing. I placed my hands out to the sides and then I put my opposite leg into my hand. You might not be able to reach at first, and that's fine. Just hold it for 10 seconds. And now switch sides. All right, so that's pretty much your whole body stretch routine. I hope you guys enjoyed, and leave a thumbs up if you did. I know this video wasn't typical, so if you enjoyed it more than our other videos, let us know. We'd be happy to do more. And thank you all for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time.
Link, ice blue mink, tat on my wrist like I do not know what permanent is.